like this every week and it won't change, so please don't give it the relax, you'll be fine bollocks, because it's not me on here tonight. It's my on-screen alter ego being the boy my dad always wanted. No, I hated all those books and concerts and paintings and Ken Russell movies. And every Friday night, on this program, I wear a mask. I've got to go, okay? I can feel my mascara about to smudge.
I've got the stuff, Joanna. Yeah, 5 tracks, G. Yeah, pretty much. How can I send it to you when nothing's written down? I'm like Jay-Z, G. I don't write stuff down, that's dry, man. You could book the studio. But anyway, gotta bounce, G. Safe, Jojo.
Yeah, fish taco sounds fine, huh? Yeah. Have you spoken to Bonnie yet?
Yeah, because I'm not really sure about doing it. Yeah, this is going to be us and Jeanette and her Slovenian cellist friend. Yeah, maybe give her a text. Yeah, you too, huh?
How is Maggie?
Yeah, she's good.
She busy?
Yeah, some guest hosting on Sky Arts. They seem really pleased with that.
Cool. Any kids yet?
Stand by, please. On in 10, 9, 8,
Did you
7,
get to
6,
the end
5,
of the book?
4,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Let me write this out, which is trying to make this happen with nonsense like nasty chimney. My man Pete Jones has been here. He's working on
Good evening and welcome to Kiss My Arts. Tonight we devote the entire program to the latest novel of the groundbreaking writer Meg Broom. Already odds-on favourite for the Booker Prize, Cool Doyne tells the story of Neil Doyne, a soldier who returns from 3 years in Afghanistan to discover that his hometown of Hyper has been overtaken by a cult of cool. The Cool Party has made cool teaching mandatory, promoting worship of cool idols such as Dizzy Rascal and Brian Cox. Off-trend clothes have been made to carry a health warning, and all communication must be made via digital devices. Titles such as Mr. and Mrs. have been scrapped in favour of email addresses and hashtags. With an outlawed Nokia N70 as his only means of communication, Neil goes on to oppose the cult, forming an anti-cool movement. In a moment, we'll be joined by the author himself, but before we do that, let's hear the thoughts of our guests tonight. Film critic Aaron Jack, writer and columnist Sophie Barr, and X Factor winner MC Street. Aaron Jack, what is the point of this book that seems to have captured the imagination of the British public?
Well, Nancy, as everyone accepts, the novel is now dead. But as it lies in ICU waiting for a doctor to turn the machine off, Broom has smashed into A&E to administer this extraordinary piece of literary mouth-to-mouth. And he does this by producing a book that shows us our own worst fears, that we are now living in a society where you have to be cool. You know, politicians have to be cool, teachers have to be cool, your granny has to be cool. The modern reader, for want of a more up-to-date term, recognises Neil Down's hometown as the UK we all now live in, where the cool police are everywhere, and although there may not be a cool party, in a sense we don't need one. So in a way, Mick Broom's novel is in fact a warning.
Sophie Barr, one of Broom's achievements is that he places his work in the now, and yet in a sense there is this great sense of history.
Absolutely. I mean, the book is so much about where we've all come from. You know, in the 60s we had that anger. It was beautiful anger. It was Woodstock angry, Ravi Shankar angry, Hot Pants angry, Blue Peter Appeal angry. Then, of course, the 70s brought this really angry anger. It was Johnny Rotten, it was John McEnroe, it was the unions, it was nasty picketing, it was Yorkshiremen shouting that thoroughly unpleasant man. We were winning wars again. We were hissing at Argentinian footballers. It was a fun anger that led, of course, to the 90s and the birth of modern cool. Suddenly you could be a Labour MP and eat canapes. Suddenly we could all breathe. We'd had a couple of drinks. We were allowing ourselves to enjoy the
you,
party.
Sophie.
That's what led to the noughties, which was, of course, the decade of connection. We had the internet, we had email, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter. We were suddenly connected. We were in each other's homes. If you wanted to know something, you just clicked on it, and there it was. You didn't have to doff your cap to some. You can't take that book out, you know, librarian.
Sophie, thank
The
you.
internet could be taken home. They didn't ask you to be quiet, please. They wanted you to be loud and proud. And now we have the noughties, which is, of course, the age of disconnect. And I think this is what Mick captures so perfectly in the book.
Coming to you, MC Street. As an X Factor winner and pop role model, how does the book speak to you, that urban disconnect of today's Britain?
I really feel the guy, you know, like, cause to me, yeah, that reading thing is like dry, man, like cream cracker style. But my man Broom is deep, but it's still like live. You feel me? Like for me, yeah, like I'm a party dude, like I don't have time for like books or nothing. But this is like, you know, I was thinking like me and him could hook up and I could do some rhymes around this book thing. You feel me?
I feel you, G. Mick, right. Little is known about this writer of bestsellers, but tonight, in a rare appearance, he is going to join us.
Alright.
Right.
Keep going, Nancy.
So what Mick Broom?
Hey,
His
what
first
about
novel,
Mick Broom, eh?
Mick Broom's first novel.
What's she been saying about me?
And the Mick Broom joins us now.
Do I give this to you?
Sorry?
It's my tax receipt. God, they're dear, aren't they? I mean, it was only 8 minutes from the hotel, but it was like 22 quid. I said, you're having a laugh, pal.
Extraordinary!
We'll get back to the moment.
Nancy, what we have here is in effect the brilliance of Broom. I mean, the taxi fare, think about it. One of the great urban disconnects of modern Britain. I mean, okay, it's cool to ride in a cab, it's not cool to be on a bus. Apart from, say, certain Londons. It's not cool to query the fare. That makes you look tight, poor, 24 carat uncool. But here, of course, Broom debunks that. He alone makes a courageous stand against ripoffbritain.org. And he makes us ask the question, what's happening to us? And I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I think more than that, he brings us into the now. He ever so subtly tells us something we did know, but didn't quite realise. The public transport is now dead, like the novel. And now the battle is in the back of the taxi cab, and it's a battle that Mick Broom is determined to win.
For real.
Mick Broom, thanks for joining us. Now, your first novel, Waking Up with the Jelly Babies, was regarded as a look-back and anger moment by the critics, and yet you remain something of an enigma. Shunning publicity, declining interviews. One critic, Jack Hyde, even described you as ne'er seen, but wondered at. So why are you so reluctant to talk about your work on programs like this, for example?
Well, I mean, this is at a bad time, isn't it? Friday night. I mean, you're out, aren't you? Or, you know, you can't get a sitter. Oh, and last time you invited me on, well, it was the dance. Hey, semi-final and all, top game, had to see that.
And let's not forget, Nancy, that Jack Hyde is still wearing Converse trainers. I mean, hello, David Tennant stopped being Doctor Who 3 years ago. So how can we take anything Jack Hyde says seriously?
And you're still watching 24.
I mean, to be fair, the dance is on tonight. But it's only the Premier League, and I can be following on this, you know, while we're having a chat. Oh, yes, get in, gotta turn this up. Do you watch the dance?
Yeah, I have sometimes,
Jockey Wilson? He's dead? Jockey. No. But they play this tune after every set.
Dirty tune that. Hey, is that the iPad 3?
Yeah.
With the red
Retina display? Yeah.
How many gigs?
Just 16. You don't really need it anymore, do you? Unless you're downloading movies and that. I can't be asked.
I'm thinking about getting the iPad 4 in it.
Won't bother me.
Soft upgrade, isn't it?
And they've got this different connection for the charger. Why do they do that?
Great question.
Mick, coming on to the book, finally. What was your starting point for Cool Down?
My laptop.
Your laptop?
Yeah. I mean, I can get some stuff done on my iPad because I've got that compatible software, but I can only write on this for a bit.
But what inspired you to write the idea?
My wife.
You mean it was your wife's idea?
Yeah. She's got this bee in her bonnet, right, about buying a nail bar. Something for to do now, the kids are off to college, so I thought, I better put my finger out, raise some dosh, to get it started up, so time for another book.
Is there something of you, yourself, in Neil Doyne?
No. He's been to Afghanistan, I mean, I wouldn't be there if he paid me.
Yes, but there is this very steely, principled, almost visionary aspect to Neil Doyne. Is there a bit of Mick Broom in him?
Is there? I hadn't thought of him like that. I just see him as pissed off about stuff. Anyway, he's nothing like me because I would say boo to a goose. Although, if I did come home to Lee and some political party taking the place over, I'd be pretty nice. I wouldn't get involved. Just a quiet life for me. Stop here, have a few beers.
Inevitably, there has been talk by some critics of echoes of 1984 in the book. Is that something you intended?
How do you mean?
Great question.
Well, in the sense, the town of Frankfurt is in the grip of this all-seeing force.
Ah, right. The 1984 miners' strike. Yeah. My dad was on the picket line. He took me with him when I was giving out food to all the families.
I was thinking...
Thriller was out about then. And that bit at the end of the video where there's all them zombies, I suppose it's like that in the book. In that the sense of the town's gone a bit strange. Not really, though. Nice to be thought of, though, wasn't it? In the same breath as Michael Jackson. Before we went all weird and that. Oh, no, he's missed a double. Look at this.
Yeah, that's deep, man. That is deep.
Which is the double?
It's the beds all around the edge, love.
Right, sorry.
Your dad never used to watch the darts.
God, no.
Footy man, was he?
No, hated sport.
What about your...
The Proms is on in 5 minutes, Susie. Pack your satchels for tomorrow and you can stay up and watch the concerto. Proms! You know you love Proms, Sophie.
So, Mick, who has influenced...
Oh, yes, please, Daddy. I do love Proms. Loving the Proms.
Oh, are you okay?
Yes. Thank you.
So, Mick, your influences?
Yeah. Just be mates, really. I want to tell it.
In terms of authors, what do you enjoy reading?
I read all sorts, mate. I like them classics, the ones with blue covers. You can get really cheap. I get one I go out for a day in Southport.
West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast. And there's a shop, right, where you can get 3 books for a fiver, big thick ones and all. Crime and Punishment, Anna Karenina, Germinal. Oh, another set to the Power.
The Power?
Phil the Power Taylor, 16-time world champion, mate.
I feel I must come in.
Power. That is like a cool name, bro. Oh, I would like that name for real.
I think it's important to bookmark what's happening here. There's a shift occurring. Broom takes a ghetto activity for the dispossessed darts, and he crosses it, belching and farting into our post-Blairite, once oh-so-cool Britannia faces, and he says, "This is you, Britain, and this, darts, is your illegitimate child with learning difficulties. And you need to include him in your lives. For me, it's a Mick Broom defining moment."
Cheers, pal.
I see what Aaron's saying, but I think it's more than that. I think, in a way, what we have to face here is that I was never going to be good enough for Daddy.
Extraordinary. Another Mick Broom defining moment. What we're witnessing here is
Shut
no...
the fuck up, Aaron! Apologies to our viewers. Clearly the work of Mick Broom continues to throw up all manners of issues and emotions.
Chill, my baby girl. Why are you getting all wavy? Come on.
What am I going to do
Come on.
now?
Stop trying. You're going to be cool.
Hey, something's happening with your darts guy.
He's done it! Straight sex! The power!
Hey,
The power!
Michael Jackson is real. I don't write nothing down, me,
Extraordinary. Another cultural watershed here. What we're witnessing
Shut
is...
it, Aaron! Come on, baby!
I thought you said you weren't ready.
Damn, I wasn't my twins would be so cool.
Jojo, I'm ready. I'm feeling it. Focus studio tomorrow and I'm gonna drop some nasty tunes, girl. It's the Room, that sweet tune scene, the man who possessed the West Coast G. Drop a book about cool and the ladies, they all start to drool.